Hi, hello. How are you all? So, welcome back to RS Academy. This is Rav Shankar sir, chemistry. We are discussing ions. In that one last session, I have given clear picture about what is cation and what is anion. But let us recall once what is cation and what is anion. So, after that, let us go on to next one classification of ions based on the atoms, simple ions and compound ions. So, before going on that, let us have a talk. Let us recall once what is cation and what is anion once again. Right on. So, cation means positively charged ion. It is obtained by the loss of electron or electrons. In case of cation, number of electrons are less than number of protons. The size of cation is smaller than that of its parent atom. Parent atom. The next one, generally formation of cation is endothermic in nature. Endothermic in nature. Next one, generally metals and hydrogen can form cation. These are few words about cations, very important one. Cation, positively charged ion. It is obtained by the loss of electron by the element. Next, so in case of cation, number of electrons are less than the number of protons because of it is obtained by the loss of electrons. So that's why number of electrons are smaller than the number of electrons are lesser than number of protons. Next one, size of the cation is smaller than that of its parent atom because of if it is obtained by the loss of electron. If it is lose on electron, so then the proton density increases. So attraction between the protons and electrons are increases. So protons has have tendency to accept the attract the electrons toward itself. So that's why the size of the atom decreases. Next, it's endothermic in nature because of to remove electron we need to provide the energy gain. So during the removal of electron, so during the formation of cation, atom has tendency to atoms require some amount of energy. It has tendency to gain energy. So gaining of energy or absorbing of energy is called endothermic reaction. So that's why formation of cation is endothermic in nature. Generally cations are formed by the metals and hydrogen. Next one. So what is meant by anion? Anions are negatively charged particles formed by the gain of electrons. In case of cation, sorry, anion. In case of cation, number of electrons are greater than number of protons because of gaining of electrons taking place. Next one, the size of anion is greater than its parent atom because of if the atom gain electron, then the number of electrons are increases in the shells. So that's why the protons unable to attract the electrons towards itself, toward themselves. So that's why cells somewhat moves far away from the nucleus. So that's why size of the anion increases. That's why size of the anion is greater than its parent atom. Next one is the exothermic in nature. Exothermic in nature because of, so if you want to add electron to valence shell of an atom, then some amount of energy is given out. Some amount of energy. If you add when electron is added to outermost shell of an atom, some amount of energy is given out. So that's why formation of anion is exothermic in nature. Next one, generally anions are found by non-metals and hydrogen. So these are the few words regarding to what is meant by cation, what is meant by anion. Is it clear to you? Right. Now let us move on to another classification of ions, that is simple ions and compound ions. Right. So ions are classified into simple ions and compound ions. Simple ions and compound ions. Simple ions. Simple ions and compound ions. ions. Simple ions and compounds ions. Simple ions means these ions are consist of only one kind of atoms. Example, hydrogen ion H plus simple ion, oxide ion O2 minus simple ion, chloride ion Cl minus simple ion, F minus simple ion. So if you look at these ions consist of only one kind of atom. So that's why these are called simple ions. Next one, compound ions. Compound ions consist of are made up of different kinds of atoms. Example, ammonium ion is a compound ion because of in case of ammonium ion, nitrogen atom also there, hydrogen atoms also there. It's a compound ion. So compound ions are made up of different kinds of atoms. Next one, carbonate ion is a compound ion. Next one, nitrate ion, the compound ion. So ions are classified into different types based on their composition. So simple ions and compound ions. Simple ions means made up of only one kind of atoms. Compound ions is made up of different kinds of atoms of different elements. Next one. So compound ions also called polyatomic ions. Please make a note of it. Compound ions also called polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions. So these are the classification of ions based on the charge and based on the atoms. Now let us have a talk. That means I am going to give some examples of ions, compound ions, cations, anions, simple ions like that. So these list of the ions help you to understand to write chemical formula in further sessions. Okay, right. So putting list of ions. List of ions. Very important, my dears. Please make a note of it. List of ions. List of ions. So first of all, I would like to give ions in present in 1 to 20 elements. Apart from 1 to 20 elements, I would like to give very important ions. So after that, let us look into compound ions. Right? So let me write 1 to 20 elements. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium and calcium. These are 1 to 20 elements. So in 1 to 20 elements, these never forms, noble gas never forms ions. Helium is a noble gas, neon is noble gas, argon is noble gas. Right? In case of hydrogen, so common name is H positive ion, H plus ion, lithium, Li plus, beryllium, Be2 plus, boron, B3 plus, and sometimes we'll get B3 minus, boron. So let us look into that, no need to worry about it. So carbon, general valency 4 plus. So nitrogen gives N3 minus nitride ion, oxide ion 2 O2 minus, fluoride ion F minus, sodium Na plus, magnesium Mg2 plus, aluminum Al3 plus, silicon Si4 plus or sometimes we'll get 4 minus. So phosphorus P3 minus phosphide ion. So sulfur S2 minus sulfide ion. So chloride ion Cl minus, potassium K plus ion, calcium Ca2 plus ion. Right? So hydrogen H plus ion, hydrogen ion. Please make a note of the hydrogen ion H plus. Lithium Li plus. Beryllium ion Be2 plus. So boron B3 plus. And sometimes you will get B3 minus as well. This one is called boride ion. Boride ion. Next, carbon gives 4 plus ion and 4 minus ion as well. So if it is 4 plus ion, carbon ion. In case of 4 minus, carbide ion. So nitrogen gives only negatively charged ion, that is N3 minus, that is nitride ion. Next one, O2 minus, oxide ion. Next, F minus, fluoride ion. F minus, fluoride ion. Next, sodium, Na plus. Magnesium, Mg2 plus. Aluminium, Al3 plus. Silicon, Si4 plus. Phosphide ion, P3 minus. Next one, sulfide ion, S2 minus. Chloride ion, Cl minus, chloride ion. Potassium ion, K plus. Calcium ion, Ca2 plus. So these are the ions in 1 to 20 elements. So very important. These all are considered as simple ions because of consist of only one atom. Simple ions. So let us look into in detail about ions. So I would like to give more number of ions. So copy these all. Right. Now next one. So listen to me. Hydrogen, please note it down. Hydrogen gives two types of ions, H plus ion, H minus ion. H plus ion is called hydrogen ion. Hydrogen, hydrogen ion. H minus is called hydride ion. Hydride ion. Please make a note of it. This one is the ions given by hydrogen. Hydrogen gives two types of ions, and positive ion and negative ion as well. H plus ion is called hydrogen ion. H minus is called hydride ion. Next one, carbon. So let us write boron. Second one is boron. Boron gives two kind of ions, B3 plus and B3 minus as well. So this one is called boron ion, boron. This one is called boride, B-O-R-I-D, boride ion, boride ion. Next one, carbon. Carbon also gives two kinds of. Please copy this one. Right. Now I am going to write ions consist of carbon. Carbon so gives different kinds of ions. Carbon gives C4 plus ion. This is called carbon ion. Carbon ion. C4 minus. This one is carbide ion. Cn minus, that is called cyanide ion. Cyanide. CO3 2 minus, carbonate ion. Carbonate ion. Fifth one, HCO3 minus, hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate, also called bicarbonate ion. So these are the ions consist of carbon. Carbon gives two types of ions, C4 plus ion, C4 minus ion, carbon ion, so carbide ion, Cl minus, cyanide ion, carbonate ion, hydrogen carbonate ion. Right. Now let me write ions consist of nitrogen. Ions consist of nitrogen. So please copy all the points, all the ions what I am going to write on the board. These are very important. Next one, nitrogen based ions. So nitrogen, N3 minus, nitride ion, and N3 minus. This one is called azide ion. Very important, azide ion. NO3 minus, nitrate ion. NO3, NO2 minus, nitrite ion. And next one, NH4 plus, ammonium ion. Ammonium ion. So these are the ions based on nitrogen. So nitride ion, N3 minus azide ion, NO3 minus nitrate ion, NO2 minus nitride, not nitride, sorry, nitrite ion, nitrite, NH4 plus ammonium ion. These are the ions based on nitrogen. Next one, oxygen based. I would like to write oxygen based. Ions based on oxygen. Ions based on oxygen. O2 minus oxide ion. Second one is O2 2 minus peroxide ion. Peroxide ion. O2 minus superoxide. Superoxide. So these are the ions based on oxygen. Oxide ion O2 minus. O2 2 minus peroxide ion. So O2 minus superoxide ion. These are the ions based on oxygen. Next one. Next one. Ions based on aluminum. Aluminum. So number of ions also there, but I would like to be very important. So those ions are help to understand or to drawback, to overcome some drawbacks in case of class 10 chemistry. Next, aluminum. Al3 plus aluminum ion. Aluminum ion, Al3 plus aluminum ion. Aluminum ion. AlO2 minus, very important, aluminate ion. Aluminate. Aluminate ion. So these are the ions based on aluminum. Next one, ions based on phosphorus. Ions based on phosphorus. Ions based on phosphorus. P3 minus phosphide ion. PH4 plus phosphonium ion. Phosphonium ion. P4 3 minus phosphate ion. PO3 3 minus phosphite ion. HPO3 2 minus biphosphate, also called hydrogen phosphate. Biphosphate also called hydrogen phosphate. Hydrogen phosphate. Hydrogen phosphate. Next one, HPO 2 minus hydrogen phosphide. Hydrogen phosphide. Hydrogen phosphide. Hydrogen phosphide. So these are the ions based on phosphorus element. Next one, ions based on sulfur. Ions based on sulfur. Ions based on sulfur. Ions based on sulfur. S2 minus sulfide ion. HS minus hydrogen sulfide or bisulfide ion. Hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide also called bisulfide. Hydrogen sulfide. SO4 2 minus sulfate ion. SO3 2 minus sulfite ion. HSO4 minus bisulfate, also called hydrogen sulfate. Bisulfate also called hydrogen sulfate. Bisulfate also called hydrogen sulfate. So next one, HSO3 minus bisulfite ion. Bisulfite ion. Sulfate, this one is sulfide. So S2 minus sulfide ion, HS minus hydrogen sulfide, SO4 2 minus sulfate ion, SO3 2 minus sulfite ion. Next HSO4 minus bisulfate ion. HSO3 minus bisulfite ion. These are the ions based on S, sulfur. Next one, based on chlorine. Based on chlorine. Based on chlorine. Based on chlorine. Chlorine. First one is Cl minus ion, chloride ion. Chloride ion. Second one is ClO minus. ClO minus chloride ion. ClO minus, sorry, hypochlorite ion. Hypochlorite ion. Hypochlorite ion. Next one, ClO2 minus chloride ion. Fourth one is ClO3 minus chlorate ion. Fifth one is ClO4 minus perchlorate ion. Perchlorate ion. So chloride ion, Cl minus chloride ion, ClO minus hypochlorite ion, ClO2 minus chloride ion, ClO3 minus chlorate ion, ClO4 minus perchlorate ion. So these are ions based on chlorine. So apart from these all, so 1 to 21 to 30 some metal ions also there. So that's the, these also I would like to write. Please write down copper ion, iron ion. These are very important. So please make a note of it. So copper, iron, chromium and manganese. So iron, copper, chromium and manganese ions. Iron gives two types of ion, Fe2 plus, ferrous ion also called iron 2 ion, Fe3 plus also called ferric ion, iron 3 ion. Copper gives two types of ions, that is Cu plus 1, that is cuprous ion. Cu plus 2 is called cupric ion. Copper 1 ion and copper 2 ion. Next one, chromium, Cr plus 3, chromium ion. So based on chromium, we will get two kind of compound ions, that is Cr2O7 2 minus. This is called dichromate ion. And next one is CrO4 2 minus, chromate ion. So these three ions are very important in case of chromium. These two are related to copper and these two are related to iron. Next one is manganese. Mn2 plus, manganate and permanganate, MnO4 minus. This is called permanganate ion. Right? Next one, very important ions, Ba2 plus, barium ion, Pb2 plus, lead ion. Next one, iodide, I minus, bromide, Br minus. So these are the very important ions. Please copy these all ions. And while explaining chemical reaction equations, then I will give few more ions related to explained content. Explaining content, no need to worry about that. So at least learn these basic ions. So these are the basic points. One we have done elements and symbols. Second one is electronic configuration. Third basic point is valence and valency electrons. And fourth one is ions. And after this one we are going to discuss making chemical formula. So till then, please revise all the content what I explained during these sessions and subscribe the channel and share and like the videos and comment the classes. Thank you, my dears. Have a nice day. Take care. Keep learning. Bye.